everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is Madden 17 on EA Sports. We've got a good one on tap today. It's the Patriots going up against the Eagles. So let's send you up to Pennsylvania. Standing by in Philadelphia are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Larry, thank you. We are just off I-95 at the home of the Eagles, Lincoln Financial Field on the south side of Philadelphia. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the New England Patriots and the Philadelphia Eagles. On the ground, the first carry for Ryan Matthews. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. Let's expand on Ryan Matthews for a second. He has a couple 1,000-yard years in his back pocket. This season, 661. Did have a career-high 8 touchdowns, but where does he fit in to the Eagles' offense going forward?
That's going to be an interesting question that has to be answered by Philadelphia, by Doug Peterson, their head coach, because he was truly their lead running back until a fumble at Detroit. I think that changed things for him. A crucial one down the stretch. Philadelphia ended up losing the game. When he takes care of the football, he's a hard-hitting, aggressive inside runner who can set a tone for a team. But if he doesn't take care of the ball, that gives an opportunity for someone else to come in and become the lead runner for Philadelphia.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. On second down, Ryan Matthews. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41. 2 Patriots there to bring him down.
An extra corner on the field for New England here on third down.
Yeah, another DB. Wentz. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area. But they want him involved, just as you said. They want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
On first down, Wentz. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he gets it down to the 32. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
It's complete, left side to Aguilar. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. And the pocket's been protected pretty good here so far on the opening drive.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing the football.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Here's New England defensively. Last year, the #1 overall defense as far as points given up goes. And they've got a lot coming back in 2017.
Now, they certainly do. And let's go back to the Super Bowl. Trey Flowers, who was their leading sack guy in 2016, had 7 in the regular season. He was a monster in the Super Bowl against Atlanta. He's back there for them. How about Dante Hightower at linebacker? His first Pro Bowl in 2016, and then just moving on back to the secondary. Devin McCourty, the guy who quarterbacks him back at safety, he's been to the Pro Bowl as a corner and as a free safety.
And they'll go on the ground. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Well, on that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
Throwing now is Wentz. This will be caught just inside the 10. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Green 39! Green 39!
Time running out here on the play clock. Defense may be thinking pass. They come out in the nickel on 3rd and goal. And he gets halfway there down to the 1-yard line. He needed 3. He got 2. Now that'll set up an interesting situation here on 4th and a yard. And it appears they'll go for it here on 4th down. A big call on the game's opening drive.
Here we go now.
Wentz going to go on 4th down. And he'll score. Touchdown, Eagles. Ryan Matthews punching it in from a yard away. And the Eagles drive right down the field and score on the opening drive. And not great starting field position here for the offense. On 1st down, Brady. And complete on the right side to Bennett. And he's able to get this across the 10 before being taken down. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Patriots in possession to begin quarter number 2, and they've got it here with a 1st down. They go play action here on 1st down. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And able to get it here to about the 16-yard line. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Now, that's the type of play that gives you a chance to win. Nothing forced downfield where you don't have a guy open. Swing it out to the back, and maybe even check it down, whatever you want to call it. Gain of 5. You're just trying to get 4 on 1st down. They're ahead of the chains now.
And he's in. Touchdown, Patriots. Julian Edelman, 83 yards. And the Patriots have taken the lead. And Charles, I had an offensive coordinator tell me one time that they design every play to score. I don't know how true that is. I mean, he had to run a long way after that catch. Heck of a play.
I think that when he was telling you that, he was designing run after catch in every play. Look out on that one. Nice catch, an even better run for big yardage.
The Eagles offense now, they head back on the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that, they had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
No gain on the play there. It'll be 2nd down. Offense still needing 10 yards. 2nd down.
Here we go. Green 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun. He takes this for 3 to the 29. Dante Hightower on the stop.
Tough day. Tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. Now Wentz on 3rd down. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he's got the 1st down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. 2 minutes gone by, 2nd quarter.
Let's go. Blue Lightning. Blue Lightning.
Throwing on first is Wentz. It's complete. This is Brent Saleh. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the ball, as we just saw there.
A really good pickup of 28 yards.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? That sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
That is caught at the 7-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height, sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there. If he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
1:57 to go in this first half. We'll come back to Philadelphia after this. Looks like the defense in press coverage here.
All right, here we go.
Wentz to throw on 2nd down. Got him in. Open. It's Ertz. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Zach Ertz. A 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Eagles are within an extra point of tying this thing up. Now after the touchdown, it's Sturgis to send it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Okay, partners, New England comes out here to take the field on offense. This is such an interesting story, how they've been able to do it year after year after year. Guys talk about parity in the NFL. Well, New England has kind of transcended that parity, and they've done it with guys that you don't normally think of as household names.
The parts keep changing for New England. That's the amazing part on offense, all right? Offensive linemen change, receivers change, running backs change. We know the one constant is Tom Brady, and that's a huge deal for them. But to be able to do it in what you call the parity times, and you're exactly right, everyone's supposed to be pretty equal. New England still a top 10 offense year in and year out. In 2016, they were number 4, and that helped them with a number 1 ranked defense as well.
And over the middle to the tight end, Bennett. Give him 16 on the pickup, and that's good for a New England first down. And quickly, they get to the line. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
They go play action for White. Now it's Brady. And a first hookup with his all-pro tight end, Rob Gronkowski. Gronkowski may have had to miss the Super Bowl with the injury, but he was active in that parade, and now he's back on the field. And I'll tell you what, something you mentioned to me is that he was a big cheerleader for his teammates, never hung his head through the injury, celebrated with him all the way through the title.
We've seen superstars in the past, when their team does well without them, they're happy, but they recede into the background. Right? They get out of the way because it does hurt them a little bit. They do have pride. They want to feel like, hey, without me, they may take a little bit of a step back. But with Gronk, you never saw that. You saw him with him every step of the way, cheering his team on, happy for their success. They went 11-0 without him in 2016, but I know this, they don't want to try it again.
No,
they want the big fella back.
Throwing is Brady on 3rd down. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Looking for his all-pro tight end, Rob Gronkowski, and that brings up 4th down.
Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good, but when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion, as we just saw there, that's winning football.
And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost, but there is a penalty marker down. They might be forced to try this one again. And the 8th play on this drive coming up. They slot Gronkowski outright. They'll run it now out of the gun. And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. And the offense moving quickly to the line. Again, it's Lewis. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. From the gun, it's Brady. Did he get the feed down? Yes. Touchdown. Rob Gronkowski in the final seconds of the first half. And the Patriots add 6 to their lead.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about and still put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers here. Gronkowski now after the touchdown. He'll send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. And now the Eagles offense back out onto the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some...
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half. The final shot before half for Wentz. He's got time in the pocket. Look at the time. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. Sturgis out now to kick this one off. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Now the Patriot offense set to take over again. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
See if they do just that.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still ended up with a solid game.
Now a first carry for Brandon Bolden. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a third down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks, allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
So second down was a run play. Now let's see what they do on third. Blunt, the lone running back. Now Brady, and incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down. Here's Ryan Allen now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. And they will get to this one and down it at the 13-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance really to set the tone here in quarter 3.
They can really take charge, can't they? And this is probably how it was drawn up at the half. I think we can go inside the locker room, right? And I think we would see up on the grease boards, stop them defensively, get the ball back for the offense, and let's go downfield and score. Seems simple, right? The last part, we have to find out that's going to happen. But the first part worked to perfection. Did exactly what they wanted, and now their offense has to pay it off.
See if they can get the latter 50%. And down he'll go at the 25. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give them a new set of downs. And now they're in the hurry-up. Shift together here from the D-line.
No, check, Patriot.
On first down, Wentz. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down. CD, wanted to get your thoughts just on the landscape of the offseason for each of these teams. Super Bowl in the rearview mirror, but so much going on. People look at the draft a lot. But there's a lot more that goes into the offseason for these front offices, is there not?
It certainly is, and then even before we get to the draft, you start with the Combine, that's held in Indianapolis every year, and you have about 350 of the top prospects coming together to get their physicals and interviews and on-field performance, and all that will get evaluated along with their game tape. And then you've got the free agents, all right? That starts, I believe, in early March, where now the free agents can start moving around to different teams, so your team's starting to take a little bit of shape there, free agency, because Then the draft's coming up. You're trying to put your team together with new draft picks, have everyone start to move in one direction, and then you have the OTAs and mini camps. We get to see them on the field for the first time, and we start to get a better idea of how these teams are going to look when the fall begins.
So there on that play, offensively, they ran the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage. So as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone to the next zone. He's coming your way. Make sure you have him. And then when the ball is actually thrown, secure the tackle. When they're moving on crossing routes, if you miss a tackle, it usually results in a big play.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read. Better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage. And that drop will cause a little bit of angst for the play caller because you know they've worked all week game planning and flexing the tight end out and making him a matchup issue for the defense. They have what they wanted.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line. Now the Patriots offense, they work their way back out onto the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
Then you got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
And the D-line pinching together, must be expecting the run. Now Brady throwing on second down. Over the middle, Julian Edelman, it's complete. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. Throwing on first down is Brady. This is White on the screen. And the ball is knocked out. But I think the Patriots are going to hang on to the football. They do. They get it back.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get them home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. 9 yards on the play there, and it sets him up first and goal. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And here we go on first and goal. They'll run for it. This is White. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. We get set for the fourth quarter. Patriots have the lead. They also have the football. On second down, here's Brady. And this is caught. Touchdown, Patriots. Dion Lewis from 3 yards out. And the Patriots add on to their lead. Well, he wasn't the guy they were initially going for, but after going through the progressions, it worked.
When you have plenty of people who can catch the football, you don't always have to go to your primary target, and sometimes that target is actually covered. Nice job coming off of that and getting it to someone who was open.
And the man out of the backfield gets in for the score. The Eagles offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they felt like they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, Not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is now with his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
Unable to connect on the first down pass play. Now it's second down. Back to the air on second down. Wentz throwing middle, but it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to Zach Ertz that time. Third down here.
Whenever they're trying to attack a zone defense, you're trying to figure out where your gaps are going to be. And depending on what type of zone they're playing, it could be on the outside, it could be in the middle, it could be in the seams, in the edges. In this case, they tried to attack the middle of the field, but this zone defense didn't allow it because they were able to see the ball come off the quarterback's hands, and everyone was able to react to the football and knock it away. We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Now Wentz got to have this one. Surveying the field. Aguilar has it. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That one good for 21 yards. And they're able to move the chains as they convert on 4th and long. They go play action here on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
Wentz again here on 2nd and 10. Screen pass to Sproles. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. Now Wentz on 3rd down. He's got time. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
After watching him drop that slant, I can hear my old coach's voice ringing in my ears right now. You can't run with the ball until you catch it. Trying to get those rack yards before he secured it.
Now we're going to get a timeout here called by the Patriots. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And he connects with Ertz. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10 to the 7. 27 yards on the game there. And the decision to go for it pays off. They've got a 1st and goal. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Ryan Matthews taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Eagles get a score closer. All right, now a big 2-point conversion attempt still to come. Wentz going to look to throw. Finding time. And now the pressure gets there, and he goes down. So he couldn't get rid of the football, and that deficit stays right where it is. Now after the touchdown, it's Sturgis to send it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Out comes the New England offense to see what they can do this time. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
Brady now on first down. It's caught outright. Amendola. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. And a pretty simple completion there underneath, but a successful one for the offense.
Partner, doesn't have to be the big shots downfield all the time. Having that safety net underneath is a great thing for a quarterback.
2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
2nd and 1 and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
They slot Gronkowski outright. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's got it up over the 40 to the 41. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. 4 yards remaining now on 2nd down.
20, 20.
Brady to throw on 2nd down. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And a nice spin into some open field. 23 yards on the play. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. Fresh set of downs here. Brady gives now to Blunt. And he's going to fight his way forward. And now the Eagles going to signal for a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. Brady going to look to throw. Looking middle. It's caught by Gronkowski. And all the way in. Touchdown, New England. Rob Gronkowski, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Patriots add 6 to their lead. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. And that one could be important as that makes this a 16-point lead. Gostkowski now after the touchdown. He'll send this one away. Philadelphia getting set to take the field.
Detroit! Now let's go!
Now a play fake here on first down. Green Beckham has it over the middle. And he takes this one just shy of midfield all the way to the 49.
And when an offense is doing a nice job selling the play-action pass, a lot of responsibility shifts to the linebackers.
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Devin McCourty picks it off. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. The Patriots offense now, they work their way back onto the field. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, LeGarrette Blount. And all the way in. Touchdown, New England. LeGarrette Blount, 67 yards. And the Patriots add on to their lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
And Philadelphia ready to get going on offense again. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. Now problems right out of the gate. We're going to get a delay.
Watch it now, Barney! Now let's go!
Shotgun now for Wentz. He's going to let it fly. And that's caught. inside the 30. And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21. A great job pulling that one in from a guy, as we know, who can really blaze. He's got a lot of speed.
And that speed can work for him so many different ways. Sometimes he just takes off and goes and just runs past people. Sometimes you get people to back off so far that you can catch everything underneath. But still, at some point in the game, you probably have to make some contested catches, right? Sometimes you have to go up and beat a defender for the football. He has that in his arsenal as well.
Showed it right there. Wentz now to throw. And he slides to avoid the hit. It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets him up now 1st and goal. And they're going to speed things up here. So the youngster able to use the legs to pick up the first. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Ryan Matthews with now 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. And the Eagles make some inroads here on that deficit. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will find version, and that'll cut this deficit down a little bit further. So time definitely not in their favor. Down 2 scores, but they'll try the onside kick. And the Patriots are going to recover, and that should just about assure victory. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Patriot touchdown. LeGarrette Blount with now 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. And the Patriots add 6 to their lead. And it's up and good. Gostkowski now after the touchdown. He'll send this one away. On the return, it's Kenyon Barner. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. What do you do here down like this in this situation? Do you maybe just pick something out of the playbook you haven't called in a while, or you call it a day?
You can do that, or you pick something that's a staple for you and should work better and try and execute that on the way out the door and maybe get back to base and feel a little bit better as you end a ball game that's been a frustrating one for you.
And we'll see if they go back to base. Back to the air on 2nd down. Wentz. And he comes back with one complete. And he goes out of bounds across the 40-yard line. And the offense lining up 1st and 10.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now. So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that in just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
He's got time in the pocket. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete, as time has run out on this football game. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. With that, we say so long from Philly.